Hello and welcome to DCP SideQuest episode number 45 on a special Monday because it's a date.
Monday.
It's a certain date right now, right?
Because of this guy.
It is the 20th of the
Is it
4th.
Yoda? Baby Yoda? How dare you, Chefty? You call it Baby Yoda. It's not Yoda. Jesus, man.
If anybody has not gone onto YouTube and searched for the Mandalorian Season 2 trailer, you need to do that right now.
Right now. Put
Do
everything
yourself a
down.
service.
Pause the podcast.
Yeah.
Go watch it. It's important. We'll
It
wait
is
for you.
very important.
Right, it's only a
Very
minute
important.
long. Super fast.
Just,
important.
yeah.
Just do it. Yeah.
We're not gonna mention what happens in the show, are we? Or are we going to in that trailer?
I don't know. Everybody's going to have watched it by now, right?
Yes.
I guess
Yeah.
so. Let's circle back to it in 5 minutes, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay.
So it's a historic date. It's April 20th, 2020.
Yes.
For 2020.
Yeah.
Or 2020.
You mean 24 2020?
Yes. Yes.
What?
Because you guys got some crazy date format. Who says the
24?
month first, then the day, then the year? It's 24 2020.
Okay.
It's not 4
I thought you
Yeah,
said
day, month,
24.
year, it
That's
gradually
just
gets bigger.
confusing.
You
It's
might
not-
have got to go.
It sounds like you're saying 24, not
Yeah.
20.
That's why I
space
paused. I was like 24.
There was no pause, Eric. If you roll back the
Also-
recording, there was no pause.
There was maybe not quite as dramatic a pause. But the thing is, you've either got to do it the way that they do it in Japan, where you go full on backwards, where it's like year, month, day, or you got to go day, month, year. But you
So
guys
2020,
Year, month,
24.
date at least makes sense, right? Because you could easily, like,
Yeah.
for instance, if I'm organizing files on my computer, I go year, month, date because
Same.
it automatically structures the files so
Yeah.
that they go in a chronological order.
Mm.
Any other way is wrong, really.
Yeah.
From a computer science perspective, it throws a monkey wrench into it. All right. You got to go
It really does.
Put your monkey wrenches
Yeah.
away.
year, month, day. All right. And then the time.
We're now switching to year, month, day for everything.
Yeah.
So
And
welcome to 2024 20.
2020, 24.
2020,
No, wait. Sorry.
Wait.
Yeah, my bad. My bad. My bad.
2024,
Yeah.
20.
Yeah, no, it's 2024,
You
20.
guys are so
Wow.
ingrained. You want to mix it. You want to mix it up.
I
You
screwed
wanna
it up
mix
already.
see? Look at it. Look at
Whew.
it.
All right. So IGN dropped the trailer. Briar, you want to describe it?
Yeah, they did. Okay, so it's the
Can you
Mandalorian
act it
season
out
2.
while you describe it as well?
I wish I could, but I don't think I could do it justice. But IGN dropped a season 2 Mandalorian trailer, and it is amazing. Like the first, I'd say 50 seconds of it gets you extremely hyped for the Mandalorian season 2, right? Is they show the bad guy, they show conflict with the good guys, and then they show teenage Yoda. And it's like, what the fuck? I mean, if you have any other reaction to that, it's the wrong reaction. Teenage Yoda goes on to smoke some kind of green substance.
Who knows? Could be his
Space vape.
mother.
Yeah, they show
mom?
his mother.
He's
They're
smoking his
all
mom?
green. He's smoking the green stuff.
Wow.
They show his
I don't know.
like bedside table,
What a
and
turn.
it's got like space Doritos and energy drink and a little figurine of Groot, which is hilarious. And then teenage Yoda gives the Mandalorian the middle finger while he's blowing smoke at him. And it's just amazing.
He also says, "You father, you are not." Or wait, in Yoda speak, you are. I can't do it. My brain is.
Yeah, he has the nose ring. It's hilarious. It turns
It's
out
amazing.
that obviously this is a troll from IGN. It is very well done. It's very funny. And the funniest thing about it is it's got like, as of recording right now, and it's only been up for a little while, it's got like 17,000 dislikes. Presumably from people who thinks it's real.
I think those are the same people that dislike Jar Jar Binks.
Are we going to get into this live?
I mean,
Are we going to have this conversation?
I'd like to know Eric's opinion real quick. What do you think about Jar Jar Binks, Eric's?
I genuinely love Jar Jar Binks.
Should
I
he
don't
be-
know,
You do.
I'm
I think
Should-
you are lying to us right now. I
Should he
think
be
you
in Mandalorian?
ironically like him just so you could piss off other people who are real Star Wars
No,
fans.
Eric's
No.
apparently really likes it.
On
we
the
have your
contrary, right?
reasoning?
I would go as far as to say that I am the realist of Star Wars fans, right? I would say that the Star Wars fans that like Jar Jar Binks is rubbish. You're not a real Star Wars fan. You know what? I want to anger the nerds. I feel like I am a true fan, right? Episode 1 is the best Star Wars episode. Darth Maul is the best Sith.
Just a
Jar Jar
side note, Tefty mentioned midi-chlorians before the podcast, and the realist Star Wars fan had no fucking idea what he was talking about.
Nobody cares about them. Nobody cares about them. We just care about Jar Jar Binks, right? We care about Darth Maul. We care about Qui-Gon Jinn, right? Like, I'm sorry, like you guys just he's so cool, right? Because he's so
cool.
Jar Jar is cool.
Like, he's just like so
No,
cool.
He's like a cool guy to hang out with.
Let's be honest, right? Star Wars can get a little bit dry sometimes, right? So you have him come in. He's like, you know what? It's like Star Wars on its own is kind of like a bland chicken breast, right? It's not that tasty, but it's something you just eat it because you need to, right? But then you throw in some spice. You bring out some nice jerk seasoning and stuff.
Darth Vader
Jar
guy.
Jar Binks.
So
And
dry.
Suddenly, this thing is like, whoa, hold on a minute, right? It's like he is the ultimate spice, and people just you know what it is? A lot of people can't handle spice. A lot of people
He's the
aren't good with
21 seasonings of Star Wars characters.
People just basically, yeah. People can't handle spice. Like if you
They
can't
don't like
handle the heat in
spicy
the
food.
kitchen,
Yeah.
they're just like, I want some boring guys like Anakin, and I want this Darth Vader guy, and this whatever. It's like,
Oh
no,
yeah,
no,
the
no.
Anakin from Star Wars 1 was supreme.
No, he was rubbish. He's got one of the quarantine haircuts. They put a bowl on his head and they were like, Zoom. Okay, yeah, Anakin, you're good to go. It's like, no. But like, real talk. Jar Jar Binks, right? He's a funny guy. He saved the war. Like he made it look like it was a mistake because he didn't want to take the spotlight.
He's selfless.
So he made it look like he
He's
took
Selfless.
A selfless
Yeah.
hero of the planet.
He's a selfless hero
Exactly.
saving millions. He's misunderstood. Jar Jar
Exactly.
Binks.
I think
He
that
is.
my life can be looked at in two parts. Pre-December 20th, 2019, or I'm sorry, when did it come out? It came out in 1997.
I have no idea.
Eric should know this as a Jar Jar fan. He
Yeah.
should know when the love affair began.
Yeah.
This is true. Yes, definitely.
Hold on, I'm Googling it real quick. Okay, May 19th, 1999.
1999.
May
yeah.
18th, 1999 was a far better day than May 20th, 1999. And to be honest, it's really been a
You mean
downhill journey ever since.
You mean you didn't watch May 18th? Like a true Star Wars fan, I went to the advanced showing so I could see Jar Jar Binks on May 18th. You mean you had to wait till the 19th?
I waited in
What
line.
kind of a second-rate Star Wars fan is that?
I was in line outside the theater. My mind was blown. It was amazing.
The second one and then the third one, like it just got increasingly bad. In my opinion, it's just
I
like
agree with you. That second was terrible because second was basically just like Anakin and what's her name on like a date for the whole movie. They were walking through fields for like that's
Date
basically what it was for the movie. Yeah, it was basically Date Simulator. And I think there was one fight at the end. I can't even remember what went on. Episode 2 was terrible. Episode 3, apart from Anakin saying he's got the higher ground and him having the lesser ground, apart from that, it was a bit rubbish. But episode 1, I mean, like Darth Maul, like just bring back Darth Maul.
I
Bring
think
back
what
Jar
Eric's
Jar.
is trying to
Darth Maul was
say.
cool, for sure.
Eric's is trying to say that if Mandalorian season 2 wants to spice things up, they're going to bring a certain Jar Jar into the mix, and it's going to
They
be
need to.
exciting.
Maybe he'll get his own game by Respawn.
Oh, I hope so.
Jar Jar
A
Binks.
farming simulator by Jar Jar Binks?
Ooh, that actually sounds pretty
Imagine
fun.
that.
I would love
Right.
that.
I'm down. Actually.
You're all like raising my blood pressure right now.
Yes. That's why I brought up midichlorians. I was like, this is going to piss off Briar. Oh, man. This episode, we were going to talk spoilers about Final Fantasy VII. Surprise,
Yeah.
surprise. Briar hasn't finished it yet.
No,
I have taken my damn time.
I
what
took my
chapter
damn
are you on,
time.
Briar?
I think it's 14 or 15.
All right.
I'm getting there.
If it's 14,
okay, yeah.
there's a big difference between 14 and 15.
Okay.
If it's 14, you might not make it next week. If it's
Really?
15, you might make it.
Is it a long chapter?
There's some meat for sure, but once you get
Some meat.
past, like, there's a third area where you do side quests. Once you get past that, you're on the ascent to the end.
Well, how about this? We'll talk about the ending next week, whether I finished it or not. Because if I haven't finished it by next week, chances are I'm never gonna.
Exactly. Precisely. Yes.
And if you don't,
But I am
next
still
week,
playing it. I
it's
still
live on
enjoyed it.
stream That you like Jar Jar Binks. If
That's
you don't
never
finish it
going
by
to
next
happen.
week.
If you haven't finished it by next week, you need to tweet out your love. You profess your love for Jar Jar Binks.
Get a tattoo.
A tattoo. Whoa. Eric's going from 0 to 100 real quick, man.
I think it's got to be done.
Woo. Man. So yeah, so
You wanna know-
let's save that talk for next week.
Oh,
So I don't know about you
I have
guys,
nothing to talk about.
but the stay-at-home thing has really raised up my online spending to ridiculous levels.
Yep.
I cannot
You're
stay
stimulating the
off.
economy.
I'm stimulating the online economy because I'm just like, get me something that will decrease my boredom level by any factor. And I stumbled upon a device. This thing is crazy. It is called an ODE for the Sega Dreamcast. Are you guys familiar with the Sega Dreamcast? Like, is that
Yeah.
something in your
Yes.
wheelhouse?
I owned one,
You
yeah.
love them motherfuckers.
I owned a Dreamcast.
So an ODE is an optical disc emulator. And what this thing is basically you go into your Dreamcast and you remove the optical discs, like the spinning discs, the CD spinner thing, right?
The
And the
spinner.
laser that reads it. And you put in a memory card reader. So you can load up a memory card with all of the Sega Dreamcast games
Mhm.
and play them on
Oh.
on original hardware with Sega Dreamcast.
Wow, that's
which is
cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
it
is
just came
cool.
out from Terra Onion. I ordered one. I haven't gotten to try it yet, but I'm really looking forward to it because Sega Dreamcast is super hard to actually collect games for,
Mhm.
and it does not emulate well. Like there's certain games that just don't emulate. Like Sega Rally was one of my favorites.
The Dreamcast, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it wasn't really that popular, right? It was kind of a second
unfortunately,
tier
like
console.
it got discontinued in like its second year.
Yeah, right.
Like it got
Mm,
like Sega dropped it like super fast.
yeah.
But the funny thing about it is there's some fantastic games for it. Like
Like
in games,
Fantasy Star Online
Phantasy Star Online
Power
is a
Stone
great
made
one.
it start.
Power Stone, the Capcom versus Street Fighter or Capcom versus Marvel games are on. There's a bunch of like really, really, really good games, and they still look good, like by modern standards. Like it's not like going back to like a PlayStation 1
Mhm.
or even like a Sega Saturn where they're still working on it at 240p, but they've got polygons kind of, and it just looks awful by today's standards. So you can play a Dreamcast game and it still looks pretty good.
Yeah.
There's something about that hardware, and unfortunately,
a lot of the games are stylized a certain way too, where they kind of hold up. You know what I mean?
yeah, they weren't big on textures. They were big on like kind of the cell shading.
Yeah.
Chestnut
Oh,
Radio,
yeah.
I think, is the first game that I ever saw that had cell shading, and that game still looks really good.
Yeah.
Cell shading holds up for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Like it's a really cool device, and Sega Dreamcast.
When are you going to get this?
I think it's gonna ship in June. So
Ooh, going to be a long wait.
yeah, but like what a cool device, man. It's like just you don't have to collect the games anymore, but you can still play it on the Sega Dreamcast, which
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
So you've fixed your boredom by spending money on something that isn't going to come till June.
I wouldn't say fixed
to
it.
buy something else.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. What are you going to buy next, Briar?
I don't know,
think
man.
Briar needs to get in on Animal Crossing. If Briar gets in
Yeah.
on the Animal Crossing life and dives deep, you will be busy. For a
I've
long
watched people play it. It just does not appeal to me. It's just not my thing.
No, that's
you
the
know.
thing. Animal Crossing is not a game you can watch because if you watch it, it looks dead boring, right? But And the weird thing is, like, I remember I said like on the podcast before, like I had this love-hate relationship with Animal Crossing, where like when I played it previously, I played it for about 2 weeks and then realized what I was doing and didn't like it anymore. That hasn't applied to this one. I've suddenly taken my Animal Crossing game to the next level. I'm turning my island, my paradise island, into a city, and it's
become a city planner.
I have pretty much, yeah. I'm turning it into a concrete jungle. It's great. I'm loving it.
You're like, this island needs some New York in it. Let's
Yep.
get rid of the land. These damn
like,
trees. Yeah.
I'm turning it to Japan, to like the suburbs, like the sort of the kind of typical living district you see in like anime, with like the kind of cool.
It is beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah. It's but I spent all this time on just a corner of the island. I still need to do the rest of it because apparently the island is still not good enough quality yet. So whatever. But we'll get there.
So after finishing Final Fantasy VII, which I did a few nights ago, and it was amazing, by the way, I'm in a conundrum because I need to decide what I'm going to play next. And Animal Crossing is definitely a possibility.
Tufty, you got to do it. Think about it. Would you want to play Neo 2, a difficult game that's been out for a while, where people are just going to bitch at you about not doing the right thing the entire time?
That will happen.
That does sound like Twitch.
Or do you want to play Animal Crossing and just have a relaxing, beautiful time?
Won't they bitch at me also about how I'm not being optimal with my turnip sales?
Yes, they will.
No.
I feel like they would. They'd be like, "You're not doing the
long
technique where you
time.
catch the spiders with the hole in the thing."
You don't even.
Jesus, man.
No, they will
You're not optimizing your chores, Tefty.
Yeah. Be like, this streamer is so cringe, man. He's not selling these turnips at the right price.
You can't even
I
get
think
turnips
you should
yet.
play them.
Yes.
True.
Whoa.
I think you should play them at the same time. Like imagine
Yo,
that
yeah.
as a stream.
You do a boss
Like,
fight,
and
go to Animal Crossing, relax
Yeah.
a bit.
I'm
Boss
talking
fight.
like a literal dual stream of both of them running simultaneously. And like you're like while you're dead in Neo, which will happen quite a lot. Then you're like, oh wait, quickly, let me do some farming. And then it'll be like listening to rock music alongside listening to classical music.
It's like the craziest DS game ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, right?
What was that farming simulator game that was super popular like 3 years ago?
Harvest Moon?
No, it was a 2D overhead game. Tefty, I think you played it on stream.
Stardew?
Stardew Valley, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, I didn't play Stardew on stream, but there was another game. It was why can't I think of the name of it? It's like Minecraft meets Stardew. Also
Terraria?
No, not Terraria, because that's you're talking top down, right? It was a top down game.
We talked about it on the podcast.
Forager.
before, right?
Forager, that's what it is.
Forager.
Yeah.
Forager.
Oh, Forager's great. Forager's amazing.
Yeah, I loved Forager. It was fun. They had an expansion. I haven't played it since the expansion, but
But
Did you ever
Stardew,
play
I
the
tried
Moonlight
playing Stardew and I could not get into it. Like as soon as it started making me do chores, I was like, no, I'm not doing this. This is just boring.
The weird thing about Stardew, right, for me is like, because I like those kind of games. Like I played Harvest Moon like so many hours in that. I like those kind of games. I like Forager, but Stardew I just couldn't click with. And I think for me it's just sort of the visual style. Like I love pixel art, but in certain styles. But for me, the sprites in Stardew just weren't my kind of pixel art. Like they just looked they were almost like weirdly too tall for the kind of typical way that I would proportion out in my mind, like pixel sprites. So I just didn't like the look of Stardew. And I couldn't connect with it because I think the big thing about all those farming games is once you get in the loop and you get your daily loop, then you're hooked. Then you're like you're there. But I could just never quite get that loop going in Stardew, so I just it just always felt a little bit lost.
You know, it's funny.
That's what I say about every anime game.
Yeah. If you read Jason Schreier's book about Stardew Valley, that chapter, he talked about how the creator, who was the one man guy or one man development team, redid the portraits and the art like a bunch of times. Like he kept on going through these iterations where he'd do some other stuff and then come back to it and then be like, that just doesn't look right, and then end up redoing all the art, and then like several months later the same thing hits and he's like, I feel like I'm better, I need to redo all the art again. Redid it. So like he was also struggling with trying to have the visual look get nailed. And
that book is fantastic for anybody who hasn't read it. Like I can't highly recommend it enough. It is really good. His follow-up book is like he's up right now. He just quit Kotaku.
Yeah. He did,
Yeah,
he's going to Bloomberg? Is that what he said?
Bloomberg.
I don't know.
Yeah, the internet.
Bloomberg.
Something about that. Something about an actual newspaper or something.
Well, what's the name of the book? I can't remember it off the top of my head.
In the book,
I'll think of it. I'll shout it out at an appropriate time later.
Sweat, death, and pixels, and love.
Blood, sweat, and pixels.
Yeah. Really good book. He even talks about Destiny 1 development. He talks about Star Wars 1313 and what happened there. Like, really, if you're into game development at all, or even just want to have a viewpoint into some of those development projects, highly worth the read. Really cool.
Yeah. It's just an interesting book. Like, it's filled with really good stories.
Yeah, and also the spectrum too. Again, Stardew Valley, one-man development team who just kept on developing for like 4 or 5 years, maybe longer. And it originally was like, I'm going to do this in 6 months. And then it was like, well, I guess I need another 6 months, another 6 months, another 6 months. And then his girlfriend was like, all right, well, just, let's see what happens. And then they show like Destiny and Star Wars 1313, like big studios. Really cool to see the perspectives.
Yeah. The Destiny chapter is really good.
Yeah. Hey, question. I have not played this, and it's possible none of you guys have played it, so we'll see where this goes. Fallout 76 had a new expansion with NPCs. Did anybody play it?
No. I can confirm I didn't.
I was hoping Eric's was the one who possibly loaded it up to have some perspective.
No. Me and Fortnite are
No,
like
Fallout.
Jar Jar Binks.
Fallout.
Oh, sorry, Fallout. Sorry, that's what I meant. Me and Fallout are like
Briar and Jar Jar
Binks. We
that's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
there you go. Right, there you go. I'm just like Fallout. Like, this is the thing. I mean, this is not it is relevant, but it's not relevant to Fallout 76. But principally, I've tried to get into Fallout before, and every time I've tried to play it, it just doesn't click with me. It looks bland. It looks boring. I've tried to play it. It doesn't excite me, and I don't get the hype. I don't know why people like Fallout. It just looks like a dusty old game. But anyway, I have heard that Fallout 76 has had apparently a nice visual upgrade, and I've seen some comparison screenshots, and apparently the lighting is much better. But I don't know how much you can polish a turd.
They've been at it. They've been polishing that sucker for a while now.
Well, so this
I'll be honest, I know nothing about what they've done to it. I just have heard that people hopped in to try it again, and those people have had fun.
Okay, so apparently the big update is NPCs, and I know this is weird to think they shipped Fallout 76 without NPCs. It was like, here's a sandbox that's full of bugs, and you're gonna lose all your loot. It's like, yikes, right? So they finally did an update where, remember, like a year ago, they were talking about their plans with Fallout 76, and people were like, plans? Okay. So fast forward to now,
they were like, "Hey, please buy a season pass for our game."
They're like, we have these years set up of what we're gonna do with this game, and people are like, really now? Okay. So finally, we're at the year where they have NPCs into the game.
Yes.
Whoa.
Which should have been there from the beginning, right? For like an RPG aspect, MMO type of thing. Like, you generally want some narrative.
There was none. A Fallout game. I mean, if you are a Fallout fan, I know that, Eric, you're not a Fallout fan, but I was. I loved Fallout 3. I loved New Vegas. Fallout 4 was a massive disappointment for me, but I played it anyway. And then Fallout 76, if you just look at the heritage of Fallout, it's all about cool stories,
narrative.
NPC interaction.
It's all narrative.
Yeah, it's all that.
It's not combat.
No.
No.
You just deal with the combat to hear the story.
Right? I mean, the reason it has this like slow motion system because the combat is so bad, that they had to put that in there.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, it was a bizarre. I was really looking forward to 76 before it came out, and then for it to be such a huge disappointment was, disappointing.
Well, NPCs are in there. Apparently, people are enjoying it.
I might check it out.
You should. You should. Because apparently I've seen a lot of people on Twitter saying, hey, you know what? It was pretty good. I enjoyed whatever. They lost their stuff before because server issues and all that.
That's a bummer.
But if you never played, no problem, right? No bummer.
Yeah. Right.
I have the full list here for if you want to know what else has been added to this here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You have NPCs and dialogue. Which is
dialogue.
There's no dialogue before you. Whoa!
I know it's crazy to think. Like literally what Briar just said. It's a freaking Fallout game, and there was no dialogue. It's like, what?
I'm trying to understand what people did in the game before, but like, okay.
Apparently there were areas that you could explore that like the remnants of past civilization. So like some people, there were videos that were actually really interesting where people would play the game, but they'd kind of narrate it themselves so that they'd explain what they're seeing and put it into context, which made the game look fairly interesting. But to play it yourself, it's not.
Yeah.
Anyhow, go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt.
They've also added a new main quest, so you're able to do that just outside the vault at level 20.
Did they add a new main quest, or did they add a main quest?
Well, according to the blog post, it's a new main quest, so we're not too sure. There's different factions. There's like the Raiders and the Settlers. Apparently, there's the Gold Bullion and Faction Reputation. I don't know what this means, by the way. I'm just reading off the bullet points. You apparently now have allies. Then apparently you can repeat events and daily quests. There's new enemies. You can explore updated locations. Art and graphics has taken a nice update. There's day and night cycle has been improved. Lighting's been improved. And then quality of life stuff. So it seems quite sizable.
And, people complain about Destiny. Wow.
Whoa.
We added NPCs and dialogue.
We added.
You can now repeat a quest.
That's gonna be my comeback from now. When people are complaining, I'm like, Destiny has NPC and dialogue. What is the big deal?
And
what
a
are you
main
bitching
quest.
about? And a main quest, multiple main quests, and side quests. How dare you?
Oh man.
Was it free? Is the update free?
Yes.
It better be.
It better be.
I believe the update is free. Yeah.
Okay.
I know that they have two different versions of that game being played right now. You can play it like if you own a copy, you can play like kind of the free to play version, but there's also like a subscription version that they had to give the subscribers their own servers because anybody paying for the game was getting trolled by the free to play players.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
On the server.
That was a great story.
Amazing.
So if you actually paid money, they would just fuck with you the whole time.
It's crazy, right? Like, it's weird to think what they thought was actually a good idea for this game. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I'm always interested in a redemption story, though. Like,
Totally.
Just because you got it wrong at launch doesn't mean that you
definitely
forever fucked. So I'll check
100%.
this out. You know, Is it only available on the Bethesda service? Like, or can you get it through like Steam or Xbox Live or any of that stuff? Anyhow,
I have
Not
absolutely
sure.
no idea. I don't even know where you get this game.
Yeah, well, the Bethesda service is weird. Bethesda's going through like hard times right now.
Yeah.
You know,
They should
They've
just
had
remake Skyrim. That's what they should do. Forget the
Jeez,
remasters.
What a novel idea.
Remake it.
Oh, remake. Okay, I thought you were
Remake.
making a joke.
Yeah, no, fully remake.
You mean a new
Skyrim.
timeline
No,
in Skyrim?
Well,
no.
And what they should do is they should remake it, but break it into chapters.
Yes.
they've
Right.
announced the new Elder Scrolls game, right?
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
And then they have that new space game that's kind of Elder Scrolls-ish. What's that one called? Like,
Oh yeah.
Is it?
I forget the name already, but yeah.
Is it Space Rim?
Space Rim?
Imagine, that's a brilliant name, actually. Actually,
Oh man.
if Bethesda don't use that, I will not buy their game.
Starfield. This week in video games, call it out. Starfield. Yeah.
Okay, so we just take various Skyrim, Starfields. Wonderful.
Yeah.
but yeah, like,
Mhm.
go ahead, Tess.
It's, like Starfield and the new Elder Scrolls and all that. Those are definitely exciting to think about when they eventually come out. But
Yeah.
they don't seem anywhere near like close to done. Or they feel like the next episode of Final Fantasy VII is going to come out, and those games are going to come out and be like, "Oh, finally!"
Considering it's just been like a title on a screen, like you haven't even seen like a little like CG trailer, so it's just like, you know, when they see that, when they do that, they're just like some executive is like, "Yo, we need a title and announcement, so to beef up our E3 showcase, please give us some text to put on a screen." Okay.
I think at one point they said Starfield was still based off of the Fallout engine too.
Yikes!
Which was very concerning because the Fallout engine just feels ancient.
It's got cobwebs.
You know, it was so revolutionary when it first showed up. When Fallout 3 came out, like it was really an amazing game. When even when like Morrowind or like those older Elder Scrolls games came out, it was amazing to be able to explore an open world like that.
Yeah.
But now there's so many games that do that. Like they're just feels very clunky in comparison to a lot of newer games.
We're like open world fatigued at this point with so many games.
Yeah. I think it's definitely getting to the point because like I think the prospect of open world is definitely like exciting in like the next gen, but it's definitely kind of got to that point where with like a lot of games to a degree where we're kind of getting to the end of the generation. Obviously, people are limited by what they can do with technology. It's like I just want that. I'm more excited about the next generation, not for like a specific game, but more just because what the new power will allow developers to potentially do. Because a lot of games are starting to get slightly formulaic. I mean, I know it happens after a while, but yeah, it's definitely like with the open world stuff. Like you kind of feel like you want to have a completely new take on that and be like, oh, okay, this is what open worlds are going to look like in the next generation, kind of thing.
I think that's part of what's driven me back into retro gaming a little bit is that you know there are no open worlds. There are no like 2 hours of me walking from place to place in Castlevania. Right, in Castlevania, there's 7 levels, and you have a whip. And you beat level after level, right? And it's just it's very it's just straightforward experience, and it's all action. It's not like I have to sit through 20 minutes of dialogue to start whipping people again.
Speaking of retro games, right? I guess you'll be. Well, this is not technically retro, but it was obviously stemming from the retro. They finally announced the date for Streets of Rage 4.
Oh yeah!
It finally has a
30th.
date.
Yeah, April 30th. So like 10 days till Streets of Rage 4.
I pre-ordered this, and it's coming in a Genesis style box.
Ooh!
Oh yeah,
nice.
That's awesome.
I think for those ones because I was watching like the limited run mention because the way they because often like limited run do things where like they only have like a certain number, whereas with this one they just like they had an open order, and then when it closes they'll make that many. So I don't think. Because I ordered the same physical one, but I don't think they're gonna send them out until much after launch. So I'm still probably have to buy digital as well. But
explain to me what this is, Streets of Rage 4. Like, is this
a sequel to Streets of Rage 3?
Yeah,
do you need to know what Streets of Rage is?
No, I know Streets of Rage, but like,
do we need to have a deep lore Streets of Rage session?
There's some guys that are really good at martial arts that kick people's ass on the streets. That's great. All right,
it's gonna be done.
Is it done like retro style for Streets of Rage 4?
There's two. So it's one of those games that you can switch between retro style and like new graphics.
Okay,
and they added that very recently because I guess a lot of people were like, we love Streets of Rage, but like this game looks like brand new. So they actually went in and they put in like old style graphics. So it's one of those games you can switch between them.
Is it still 2D side scroll?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. It's a brawler, so like that old school brawler.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the new and the new art style, like it's cool they put in the retro thing, but I love the new art. The new art looks fantastic.
I think it
looks.
I thought it looked cool. Yeah.
Alex, like the characters. Well, some of the characters looks like they've aged. Like Alex looks like he's aged. He doesn't quite have a pot belly, but he's like he's thicker around the midsection than he used to be.
That's what they should have done. They should have just given them full on pot belly,
right?
Full on gray hair, long beard.
But Blaze looks exactly like she used to in the 90s. So
True.
No.
So
some fans don't want to see Blaze age, I guess.
It's 10 days, right? So April 30th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For this game, wow.
I'll probably download it.
Definitely gonna play that. Streets of Rage was like really fun, and I don't expect it would be super long of a game.
No.
So it'd be fun to just jump into and have a good time with Streets of Rage.
It's coming to Game Pass.
Yeah, apparently it's coming to Game Pass. That's awesome.
Oh, dope.
Ooh,
even better.
That's awesome.
Bingo.
I'll be playing that on Xbox, waiting for my Genesis copy to come in.
Yeah.
Game Pass, so good.
Yeah, I miss those kind of arcade style games, like the ones where you can just jump in and like you can just play for like 20 minutes if you want to, and like not feel like you have to just be like, oh no, I'm in the middle of a chapter epic that's going to take me 3 hours.
Yeah.
Like something kind of fun about that.
Yeah, and if you do have like somebody on the couch next to you, like it's fun to play those games with a friend, like sitting next to you.
Yeah.
Especially, I don't know, I can't remember actually if Streets of Rage was like this, but I know Final Fight was like this, which is a similar sort of game that you could actually hurt your co-op teammate by punching.
Oh yeah, true.
Remember that? I can't remember if Streets of Rage was like that or not.
Yeah, I can't remember actually.
It's been a while since I've couch co-opted Streets of Rage.
I can confirm it's been quite a while.
Yeah.
I love couch co-op stuff where you can control your friends. I remember when I couch co-opted Zelda Four Swords, and you could literally pick up one of the other links and throw them. And then obviously when I'm playing with my schoolmates at the time, they're just like, well, instead of solving the puzzles, I'm just gonna throw you into the pit again and again and again. I'm like, okay, can we move to the next room?
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's the Streets of Rage series. I mean, they were all good, but 2 in particular was so good that like they're still releasing like soundtracks on vinyl for that game. And,
nice.
You know, it's really something special. If you guys haven't checked this out, or anybody listening, if you go onto your Switch and type into the store and search for Sega Ages, there are a ton of remade Sega games that are done very, very well. Like remade very, very well, even including like extra features that weren't in the original game. So for instance, like Phantasy Star 1 that originally came out in the Master System has a map, like, because obviously that game is 4x3. So in the unused space on the 16:9 screen, it shows a map. So like when you're dungeon crawling, it's a lot easier. You don't have to get out the graph paper. It also shows the stats of the characters. I don't know if they have Streets of Rage on there, but man, if they do, that'd be a worthwhile pickup. Any of those games is good. The third one has shitty music, but the rest of them are
good. Speaking of Phantasy Star Online,
yes,
Phantasy Star Online 2 is coming out for Xbox this week, or is it already out?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, like the official is coming out real soon.
The official release date, yeah.
Yeah, for
it's out
Xbox.
in beta now, right?
Right. So the official release for Xbox, I believe this week or next week, it's in April. Then the PC release is getting next month. They haven't officially announced the date yet, but next month.
But they've
PC.
actually said it's coming next month, because we just had like, it's coming to PC, but we didn't really know when. So I'm really excited because it's crossplay. So there's some people that have already started on Xbox, or say if your friends have been playing for a month on Xbox, like you can crossplay and get it when you get on PC.
That's really exciting. Is there stuff going to carry over for the full release, or is it going to get reset?
Don't know, actually.
I think the beta is beta.
So it'll get reset. Their prior.
If you're playing on beta, I believe that's not going to carry over.
I would expect it to get reset. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, full crossplay. Gonna finally be able to jump into Phantasy Star.
Yeah. For the first time since the Sega Dreamcast.
That's what I'm saying. That's awesome.
I think we need a DCP plays Phantasy Star.
We should.
Oh, that'd be fun. I'm into that for sure. Eric, so you got to do that too.
I have been wanting to play it. I've genuinely because the only thing that stopped me from playing the beta up until now was like because they still haven't technically got European servers for it. I have to play on American servers. But I have been wanting to play it because I played Phantasy Star Online 1. So yeah, that could be cool. That could be cool, definitely.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so that's coming out. Exciting. Oh, there's also a Remnant of the Ashes DLC coming out. Yeah, end of the month.
Ooh.
It comes out on the 28th, is it? April 28th.
Damn.
Yeah, April 28th.
New
it's
expansion.
called Swamps of Corsus. So if you remember when you played and there's like the bug lady.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like all about that area. So they're
now
adding
everything will be green instead of brown.
maybe that's a change. They're adding a survival mode. So this basically turns it into a roguelike game. So you start from the beginning, you pick up weapons, and you go as far as you can with your one life.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that's going to be really interesting for that game. And then they're also revamping the Corsus region, and they're adding new dungeons, new bosses, new enemies, new weapons, and new mods.
Yeah, new dungeons and bosses means there's going to be new weapons to acquire by getting those as a chance of that rolling.
Yep, and it's $10.
That's cool. I'm definitely going to buy that.
April 28th. Nice. I'm definitely going to check that out because Remnant was such a fun game. It came at the perfect time. I was wanting like a Souls-like experience, and Remnant was kind of that, but a different take on it. And I think they did it really well. So I'm looking forward to checking out survival mode and all the new stuff.
Yeah. Seems to be coming at a good time too.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
There's like
new
nothing
XCOM this week as well.
Oh yeah, new XCOM.
Oh, new XCOM.
Yeah.
Like XCOM 3?
expansion,
no,
right?
XCOM. It's not like I believe it's a standalone thing on itself, but I think it's like a smaller kind of. It's called XCOM Chimera Squad.
My bad. I thought it was expansion.
For it I mean, maybe it's expansion. Maybe I was mistaken, but I thought like my understanding of like we're looking at it was that it's like it's being sold on Steam as like a standalone thing. Like it's not like a so but quite where it fits, and I'm not 100% certain. I haven't had a chance to like catch up on it too much, but that comes out. Yeah, that comes out this week on Friday.
Wow, that's great.
Interesting.
Cool. Yeah, I wonder how big that's going to be since it's like a standalone type of, like.
Yeah. I get the feeling that maybe if it's not like numbered as such, maybe it won't be like the same kind of scope and scale as like the other ones. But only sort of time will tell. And then obviously following that for the Tactics fans, there's also Gears Tactics soon after. I think is that a week or two away, something like that? Somewhere around there.
Cool. Yeah.
People are actually pretty excited for Gears Tactics.
Which
surprised me because it looks like a mobile game.
I know nothing about Gears Tactics.
I remember seeing a trailer and we were like, "Is this the mobile game?" And then we're like, "Oh."
Huh.
Hey, I haven't played it. It might be awesome. I have no idea.
It might be amazing.
It sure looked like a mobile game when I first saw
it. Maybe. Oh, also, while I remember, for everybody this is obviously applicable to everybody because everybody's stuck in lockdown. If you're looking for some stuff to play and you're looking for some bargains on the Nintendo eShop right now, they've got like a megaton sale on like many things. Ooh. And I went through the other day and bought like Transistor cost me like £3. There's like Bastion's like £2. There's like Wonder Boy. Like there's a lot of those kind of like smaller like indie titles that you can literally get. For like
Wonder Boy is on sale.
Yeah, Wonder Boy. I think it was like £5 or something like that. So
what?
So, yeah, it was super. Wow. It was super, like I think it was like £5 or £6. It was super cheap. And then I was scrolling through the eShop and I was like, there's a lot of games I could buy in here, but there's a lot of them got like 70% off and something crazy. So if you're looking for some things, check out the eShop. You might find some things to keep you busy during quarantine.
Nice.
And this is why I say the Switch is the biggest rabbit hole when it comes to backlog.
Oh yeah,
it's true. It's true.
So many titles. Like
and then there's like collections too. Like you can play like every Mega Man game ever made.
Yeah, when you said all those Sega games being remastered, or I mean, brought towards the Switch again, just there's so many titles that you could be adding up in there.
Yeah, it's really. I think the Switch is the most compelling console like right now to me.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
And obviously things are going to radically change when the PS5 and the Xbox Series X come out, but I don't see that devaluing the Switch at all because it's just such a unique console.
Yeah. Did we talk about the controller and the console design?
Oh no, we didn't.
We never talked about the controller.
Yeah,
the PS5 controller was revealed.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And to mixed reception.
Yeah, surprisingly. I thought I don't know about you guys. I thought it looked really cool. Like it definitely reminded me of Stormtrooper, like for reals.
Yeah.
It does look like a Stormtrooper.
It looks wider. It reminds me of the Scuf PS4 controller, the Impact, like in shape.
Yeah.
It hasn't been confirmed that it has USB-C. I think it has, right?
I don't remember the specifics.
So
well better.
Yeah. I think I like it because I mean I've never been a massive fan of the PS4 controller in general because I've always felt like I like the Xbox controller and the Switch Pro controller. Like they're the ones that are most comfortable for me. I mean partly because I prefer like staggered analog sticks. I don't like the kind of two at the bottom. But even size wise, I've always felt the PS4 controller is quite small. So this one looks like it's kind of almost like a halfway house between original PS4 model and maybe Xbox controller. So to me, it looks like a great like form factor.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is exactly how I described the Scuf Impact, is that it's between like a regular PS4 controller and like an Xbox 360 controller. So if it is similar in shape to that, that is my favorite shaped controller. Nice. So I'm looking forward to if it is like that, which it looks like it could be.
It looks, tough to say. I'm definitely gonna have to hold it, obviously, to really know if the ergonomics are gonna make sense. Visually, it looks like the sticks are in the same spot, but the controller is wider.
Yeah. Are the sticks a little further apart than they are currently?
I don't think so. Like
it's apart.
I saw an overlay, and it looked like the original. They're still like basically in the same spot, but there's more side to the controller. And For me, I'm not really a fan of that. Because I already like the Xbox feel. I like how the sticks are different on the Xbox. So I'm already preferring. I don't want to have my thumbs more towards the center than they already are. For me personally.
Yeah, I've never had a problem with the current PS4 controller. I like it. But occasionally my thumbs will touch because the sticks are a little too close together. But I also have big hands. So if they just moved them apart a little bit, like I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, from what I saw, I don't think that's what they're doing. I think they just made the controller technically wider, but like the layout's still the same.
I wonder if it'll be like a stretch then to get your thumbs over to the middle of the controller, but it's not on the impact. Like I feel like the impact, like a beta for this.
Well, the impact has more like a slant on the sides, whereas this feels like it's bowed out.
Yeah,
this looks like it's a little more bowed out on the sides. Again,
you
just don't know until you actually get it in your hands, see how it feels.
Right.
But my initial reaction was it looks cool, but I still think Xbox controllers are superior.
I think the current Xbox controllers are pretty good. The launch Xbox One X controllers I thought were horrendous. I really disliked them, but they've made some improvements to those over the years.
Yeah. Well, the Elite 2, the Elite 2 is amazing.
Oh yeah,
the Elite controller is amazing.
Very good. That's kind of my go-to PC controller at this point is the Elite 2.
The controller that came with my Xbox One X was really nice. It's comfortable.
The one that came with mine was terrible. The thumbsticks were so loose that it was hard to be accurate. For me, it was hard to be accurate in first-person shooter games. Also, they've changed a little bit the button position compared to the triggers, so less likely for me to actually hit the top buttons while trying to hit the triggers than it used to be. I don't know. I didn't like the Xbox One when it first came out, but it's different.
All I know is I need to have my impact or I won't be able to use anything. So hopefully, I can.
Well, on the PS5, do we know if that's true yet?
I don't know. I don't
know.
You know
Xbox One controllers will work on the Series X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of hoping that PlayStation does the same thing, so I can just use the same controller.
Yeah, I'm currently using the Impact. I'm currently using the Impact right now for PS4, and it's my preferred, my go-to.
Yeah, it's a great controller. Yeah.
I feel like it might not work in the same
touchpad. I'm sorry, say that again.
No, I was just saying. I feel like the one thing that might stop the PS4 controllers from working on PS5 is because the dual sensor's got all these kind of new like haptic triggers and stuff. So if they're going to work next to the game, whereas for Xbox, they may. I'm not sure. I could be wrong though.
Yeah. Is it going to blow wind at me when I'm like running through a windy valley? Is it going to go?
Only when you do a Naruto run.
The controller's just. All right.
Yes. At one point, I was talking to this company called Vorp. I think it was called Vorp X. That you set up a little thing on your desk, and it does literally put air in your face. Like it's like it'd be activated by like explosions and shit.
That's pretty amazing.
That's great.
They kept the touchpad, and then they like LED light pad as opposed to on the kind of the front of the controller. Where it is now, where you never see it. I never understood why they had the LED light there.
Because you can't see it unless you like flip your controller around.
Right. Yeah.
Or if you have a mirror.
Yeah.
Hopefully that won't. I'm hoping the battery life is also better on the 5 controller.
Please.
The PS4 controller had kind of ridiculously bad battery life. So bad that a lot of people, me included, took the batteries out of PS3 controllers because they were bare and put them in PS4 controller.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah, you could do that either.
Well, now we know.
So hopefully the battery life will be better, and also hopefully the latency will be better, because that's also kind of a sticking point for PlayStation controllers. Is that they use kind of a standard version of Bluetooth that has more input delay than, like say an Xbox controller.
Yeah. Briar, your internet seems to be having some problems. Just to let you know. So it's going in and out.
Just letting
what
you know
you're saying.
It's gone into retro Briar mode.
Yeah. Definitely got 8-bit Briar visually and audio wise.
I know we can't talk about complete spoilers for Final Fantasy.
Hold up. One more thing about the controller before we move on.
Okay.
Are there going to be back buttons? Because the PlayStation just announced the add-on back buttons. We know for sure they're not going to have them. They've said it.
Didn't they show on the back? I can't.
They didn't show the back of the.
I don't remember. I just remember looking at the front, and I didn't read anything about it. I was just like,
yeah, I remember people talking about how it didn't have it, but I could be wrong. PS controller back buttons.
Because it's weird. They just added that accessory PlayStation 4, so everybody assumed that this would be compatibility for PlayStation 5. But
true. Yeah, I mean they didn't mention anything in the blog post, so unless there's kind of like a side thing for it, but
yeah, I don't think so.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, kind of unfortunate.
That's a super nice feature.
Yes.
It is. At the same time, I can see how some people might just want a standard controller and not have to worry about accidentally bumping buttons when they set down the controller, and they're less concerned about that.
Do you guys take the paddles off when you're not using them?
No, I've never done that.
Yeah, I've never done it either.
But I've also set it down and accidentally bumped something, and then there's horror stories of people deleting precious loot or characters. Pope, right? Pope supposedly deleted a character.
His new Scuf controller on stream. It was deleting a character on his PlayStation.
It's like, wow.
Yikes.
It's also user error.
Yeah, that's definitely user error for sure. Yeah.
What were you going to say about Final Fantasy?
I wanted to ask, so we can't talk about the end, but I wanted to ask if we could get into a little bit of spoilers with a certain part of the game, which was magnificent and amazing and beautiful and fantastic and fun.
Is Briar past it?
Yeah.
He said he's chapter 14, right?
Yeah. Right?
I don't know what you're referring to. So,
what area, Watts?
I mean, are we going into spoiler time because we need to? We need to.
We got like 4 minutes.
Ish.
I just want us to talk about one moment. I'm pretty sure Briar's there, right?
All right, so we're in spoiler town. So thank you if you haven't played Final Fantasy VII, and like this is it. We're going into Final Fantasy spoilers. So thank you for watching. If you haven't, we'll see you next time. But
we'll see you
from here
next
on out,
for
Final Fantasy VII spoilers.
So finish the game for next Monday, guys, so you can join in with the spoiler talk.
So what is it? What area?
I wanted to talk about the honeybees.
Yeah, the dance off.
Yeah, the dance.
Yeah, Briar.
Yeah.
What did you think of that? Were you giggling? I need to know. Were you giggling?
Hell yeah. My wife were sitting on the couch laughing our asses off playing that together. It came at a point too that I thought it was. If I'm right, now it's been a week since I've done this, so that was right after Battle of the House, right, in the arena. Or no, was it right before? Yeah, it was right after you battled the house in the arena.
You fought Hell
right?
House, yeah.
Hell
House, right? Yeah, and then it was actually a really intense battle for me because I was not equipped well to take on the Hell House. So
it's intense for most people.
It took me a long time to get through that fight. Luckily, I did it the first try. I would have been heartbroken if I had to go through it again because it was so long a battle. So it was a great time to release some of that tension and laugh. Perfect into that whole sequence.
It was the whole thing I was not expecting. So I knew if you played the original, you know what kind of happens, but I wasn't expecting like a full-on dance situation going on. And the best thing about it was though Cloud gets fully into it. He's shaking his butt. He is slaying. But the best part is Aerith is in the audience going, yeah, and she's so happy. Aerith is so incredibly happy about what Cloud is doing. And that just really elevated it. I was like, oh my God, she's having a blast.
I was having a tough time because streaming it, I was focused on hitting the buttons. So I could only I'm like peripherally watching and being like, this is crazy what's happening. I wanted sit down and just watch it.
Because I was watching, yeah.
I was super focused on the button presses because I was like, I'm not going to mess this up. But man, this is crazy. I want to look at the facial reactions that are happening with all the characters.
I was just like, what is happening? That's probably one of the happiest I've been playing a game. That moment there was just pure happiness and elation. It was amazing.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I have to do it all twice.
You had to do it twice because your save got borked?
Yeah, because so when I went back, that's why I had to do all those, and because I was trying to do all the side quests, I had to do all the Wool Market side quests, had to do all the slum side quests again.
That would have made me quit
Hell House again.
Oh yeah, I couldn't have done it.
Yeah, that was. It was. I only. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact I need to make videos, I would have been like, I'm going to come back in a month's time. But interesting thing though. So here's one of the things that I don't know. I mean, maybe you guys didn't know that, but there's a couple of times in the game early on, this isn't spoiling stuff, where like you actually have like a question be asked and you get to choose an answer. At first, I thought it was kind of a throwaway thing, but that does actually influence the dress that Cloud wears.
Yep.
And B, the dress that Tifa wears. And also there's another cutscene later on in the game that it also influences.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't realize it first of all, because obviously when you play through it, it's only you're just like, oh, okay, fair enough. I just thought they were just like throwaway kind of, we'll give them a chance to say something, but it doesn't actually do anything. But yeah, so like I said, what was it? I had like a full on black and blue kind of gothic-y sort of dinner dress for Cloud.
Did you pick mature?
I've seen people. I picked exotic.
I picked exotic as well.
I picked exotic.
I regret not picking sporty so bad.
I also picked exotic.
But I didn't get the black and blue. It was like
that was for Tifa.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. For exotic, Tifa for me had like the sort of the Japanese.
You're talking Cloud. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Cloud. Yeah. Cloud had the black and blue one. But then there's another one. Yes, I think if you pick sporty, she wears like a Chun-Li outfit, right?
Yeah, she looks straight up like Chun-Li. It's amazing.
What?
So I'm gonna play on hard, and I'm picking sporty.
You're gonna replay the game on hard?
Yeah, I've started already. Tomo's actually in chapter 8 hard mode right now.
Wow. Okay.
So he's loving it.
So I want to throw out a pro tip for everybody who might be coming up on finishing the game. There is no autosave after you've gone through the credits.
Tefty. Me and Tomo were yelling. So we put Tefty on the big screen to watch him play through the finale. And we're just watching Tefty, and we were yelling. Tefty, no. Tefty, oh no. Oh no, Tefty.
What happened?
So,
it's just at the end of it. So no spoilers, but
yeah, no spoilers. But you finish the game, you go through the credits, and then it starts describing like hard mode, chapter selection, all that stuff. And I was like, man, this was amazing. Like, we'll probably like jump into check out some stuff later down the road, but that's gonna do it on the stream. And then I basically went to the title music because I wanted the title music playing to end off the stream, and it warned me. It said, hey, any unsaved progress won't be saved. And I assumed that there would have been an autosave that says, hey, you literally watched the whole credits. Let's throw an autosave. Instead, it rolled it back to the right before the big epic end sequence and fight all happened.
How long is that?
It rolled back about an hour.
Oh, okay. So
it's like an hour and a half. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not terrible. Not Eric's level of losing like 10 hours, right?
Yeah.
But still,
although I would say having to replay that whole final sequence again is probably kind of comparable because that was a long ass fight.
It's a long sequence. It's more emotionally draining when you're going through. You're like, Jesus, holy crap, all this stuff going on.
I can't wait to get to that part.
Yeah, really good stuff. But so make sure you save after you've gone through the credits. Otherwise, it's so weird that they don't put an autosave in that spot because
really weird.
Yeah, there's autosaves throughout the whole game where like right before you go into a battle or whatever, or some point happens, they naturally do an autosave.
I was a little pissed that they only give you 10 saves total. Like when I'm playing a game like that, it's kind of nice, I think, to be able to save kind of throughout the game. That way, for me, is if I want footage, right, is I could just go to that save point, get the footage,
Yeah.
True.
So I like being able to save kind of often.
Yeah, I would just keep on rotating through. I didn't even realize it was 10 total slots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, make sure you select a chapter and save.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that happened. It was incredible though. Very, very happy to have
Can't wait
finished
to
it.
talk about it. I have so much to say. Let's just have the whole episode next week.
Just be spoiler talk for
I
Final Fan.
I can easily do an hour. Easy peasy.
Yeah, there's definitely some stuff to talk about. Some deviations from the original. So
some lores.
Some
discussion.
implications.
Do we have to get a lore guy on?
I know all
we're
about
generally reputed for our lore knowledge, so I don't think we need to.
Final Fantasy, I know about. Destiny, I don't.
Is there anything else for the week, or is that it?
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
I think that's it. Yeah, I'm sure there's some stuff that's come up. Oh, we didn't talk about Valorant, and we said we were going to talk about Valorant last week, but we haven't been playing it, right?
I played it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played it. I've been playing.
What's your 1 minute thoughts on Valorant?
I think Valorant is a fun game. I think some abilities Raze, talking about you, are a bit problematic, especially as Valorant developers were like, all the abilities are just for like slowing and recon and moving around the map. They will not be used to kill. Okay. Yeah, so maybe some of that needs to be adjusted, but generally I think it's a good game if you like those types of games. It's a game that I can enjoy with friends for sure, but I don't think it will be a game that I just sit and like play and grind out really hard, because I tend to like games that the skill gap is in the movement, not so much just the lack of movement.
Yeah, it does seem like a slow game.
Oh yeah, like if you are moving when you're shooting, you can't move when you shoot, basically. You stand still or you crouch.
Really?
That is it. And there's a certain fun about that type of game, but I think for a lot of people, especially if you're coming from Destiny or Call of Duty, you'll find quickly that like maybe this isn't the type of game for you, because it is more slow and methodical and tactical, and waiting in corners and holding down with choke points and controlling the map, which is fun in its own right. But
there's also no bullet magnetism, right?
No.
Yeah, which is very different from Destiny. Like if you're used to Destiny's bullet magnetism, and then you go to a different game that has higher standards for hit registration and all that, it can be a bit of a shock. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's definitely like CSGO. It's like 95% CSGO, 5% Overwatch.
Okay, interesting.
So it's definitely, they went straight after the CSGO audience. Just everything about it. The amount of rounds,
all the esports,
the recoil, everything. CSGO.
Interesting.
It's a little more forgiving. So this is actually what Riot does, which is not a bad thing, but this is just what they do. They take games and then they copy them and make them a little bit more casual friendly. So they did that with League of Legends. They copied Dota and made it more approachable for someone just going into a MOBA. They did it with Teamfight Tactics, which is their auto chess. They made it more approachable. They did it with what else did they do it with? They did it with Valorant.
Runeterra, card games.
Runeterra, yes, card game. They made that more approachable. So that's kind of their thing, is they find something that's really good and then they take it and make it more approachable for more people to get into the game easier. And I think that's what they did with Valorant. It's like, so you wanted to play CSGO? Well, here's CSGO, but the recoil isn't as difficult to learn about. Like there's not a bunch of tricks that you have to learn to be good at it. Yeah, so that's kind of their thing, and it works well for them.
So I want to bring up one thing that they're doing. They made it so to get access, you have to watch a stream that has drops enabled, right?
Yeah.
And you have your account hooked up to your Twitch account, and so there's this thing that's happened where in order to get access to play it, you got to be watching the stream, and then you'll get a drop randomly that gives you the enables your account, and this has created an ecosystem where a lot of large streamers are putting on reruns, right? And like essentially inflating the views, because people like just leave it up to try to get the drop. And then also these larger streamers are putting on reruns just because, well, they're getting ad revenue and people are tuning in for the drops. So it's like, why would they not? And
people who don't have it enabled are putting that drops are enabled.
Well, now, really? So drops are enabled for everyone now, but initially they weren't enabled for everyone, and some people were just putting it in their title anyway. So it's a very interesting. It's such a whole discussion we could have on a marketing strategy being like this, and that you get streamers to play your game, and they're not, as far as I know, they're not paying them to play the game, but they're obviously giving them access, and then they're giving them the drops enabled, which gives them a ton of viewers. And how is that for making your game be watched by more people? Are people going to stick around after the game is out? Are they going to keep watching? Or is it's the beta and people want to get access? So that's why people are watching it so much.
My initial impression is like, I feel like in terms of building a community around a game, that's going to create a very vapid, like transparent, come and go, super quick type of experience for a community to form around something.
Yeah.
You know, because it makes it harder for smaller channels to build momentum around the finer dynamics of a game, as opposed to just thousands of people flooding a channel just to get a drop and then bouncing as soon as they've come. You know?
Anytime you base viewership around giving away something, you're going to get like a community that's just there to get that thing.
Yeah.
And as soon as you're not giving away that thing anymore, they're probably like 99% of them are going to be gone.
It evaporates. Yep.
Yeah, so I'm sure there's going to be some streamers that can really take advantage of it, and they'll definitely get some follows and create some members of their community. But people always say this, right? When you're building a YouTube channel or building a Twitter account, like, don't just do giveaways, because then you end up with a dead channel that has, X amount of followers who are just there to get that giveaway.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm sure it's somewhat similar.
So it's fascinating seeing that happen. And Valorant's definitely not my type of game. Like, I'm not gonna grind a game like that. I'm not interested in that type of competitive scene. I get the appeal of it, 100%.
Yeah.
And I get the pro esports level gameplay can be very exciting when you have a lot of people that are playing at a high level. That can be exciting to watch. But
yeah, it's the feeling that I had is I have a lot of fun playing with friends, and I could play for hours and hours and hours with friends. But would I play just on my own because I want to get better and I want to grind the game? Probably not, because I like fast movement stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there was a game besides Destiny that I was going to put a lot of time into, it'd probably be Apex, because it's, they have similar types of movement stuff, similar sorts of feel to weapons. And I think Apex is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
There's rumors that the new season of Apex is pointing toward Titanfall 3 release.
Woo.
Which is really exciting. Titanfall 2 was outstanding and criminally overlooked.
Yeah, so that's actually really interesting, is if Titanfall 3 comes out, will it get the recognition that, assuming it's a good game, will it get the recognition it deserves because of Apex? Because Apex is so popular. Will people be like, oh, well, let's go try out Titanfall?
Would they tie things together? Like do like an in-game promotion together? Imagine if
the world is connected.
Right? Yeah. Like if you own Titanfall 3, would it unlock things in your Apex account that you have access to? Like,
or would Apex have like in-game hooks for Titanfall? Like,
yeah.
Titanfall 2 also got buried by EA.
Yeah.
So one would think that they now have a little more street cred inside EA. They might not
apparently internally, EA were the ones that actually advised them to push it to a different window, but apparently it was Respawn that was stubborn at the time, and they were like, no, we're a big enough game, we can compete with Battlefield and COD. So apparently EA advised them to push it out, but they were, apparently it was, whether that's actually the case. Yeah. But because I can understand from one perspective, like the studio, like, well, you're basically saying that we're not as good as Call of Duty and Battlefield. It's like, no, but we're just trying to talk sensibly, like releasing in between those two. But yeah, apparently they were quite a stubborn studio, and they were just like, no, we're going to go anyway. And then,
that's a shame, because it is a great game, and I think that it is better than both of those games. But the audience, it's not, Call of Duty and Battlefield already have those people that are just going to play that game every single year. You're not going to be able to pull them away.
Yep.
Yeah, Titanfall 2, by the way, still worth going back to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing campaign.
It is. Yep. Well, I think that's the episode, guys, right?
It is indeed.
Oh, you think so? Do you?
Do you? Huh?
SideQuest complete.
SideQuest complete.
Oh, good bell ring. Good bell.
That was a good bell ring right there.
Or in How Barrett. Da 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 da.
The first time he did this, I laughed out loud.
Oh yeah.
And then in the they play it in the arena too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So next week, we'll do some deep dive into Final Fantasy VII Remake spoilers and what it means for
theorizing,
lore. The potential of what Chapter 2 or Episode 2 is going to look like and all that, which kind of gives you a hint. There's things that are changing, which is really cool. So we'll do that next week. And what else is coming out this week?
This week, XCOM, Chimera Squad, Naruto, Shippuden, Boruto Returns.
How many of those are you playing, Eric's? You playing them all?
All of them.
All right.
Predator Hunting Grounds comes out April 24th.
I'm not playing that.
I might play that. That sounds like it's right up my alley.
All right. Well, thank you very much for watching, guys. Appreciate all the support here on Twitch and on YouTube and on our Patreon and on all the Podbean, Spotify listens and all that stuff. So we really appreciate the support, guys. If you want to find more of me, you can talk to me at Teft on Twitter and catch my streams, twitch.tv/TeftyTeft, where I will be trying to figure out what I'm streaming next. Neo 2, Animal Crossing. I don't know. I haven't played any Iron Banner, so I might be doing that. I might actually try
what I'm
out.
Doing today.
I might try PS4 and see if I can adjust my eyes.
Tefty, yes. And that's actually what I'm doing. I'm going back and forth. I'm beginning the process of getting used to the eyeball simulation challenge.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It might be worth our time to play a little
what?
PvP.
Why are you doing this again?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let's get together.
Who's next?
Me, maybe.
Yep.
I am Miss 5000 Watts. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Just look for Miss 5000 Watts, and I'm gonna be playing some more banners. And I do want to, like I said, start incorporating PS4 and PC every week, back and forth.
Fair. You can find me over on Twitter at Arix and YouTube Arix Gaming. And then this week mixture of stuff. Don't know. Oh yeah, there's Monster Hunter update on Friday as well.
Yeah.
80 Arctemp, Namiel, and Master Rank Cool for Tiroth.
Nice.
Oh man, I need to go. I actually need to go. I need to jump back in before then.
Yeah, I might be doing that on Friday.
Yeah.
Do it.
I'm Briar Rabbit. You can find me shopping at CompUSA for a new 56K modem to replace his 14 streaming with.
And
it's great that you cut out right there. Kind of mystery. All right. That's the show. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.